Ayo, welcome back to Art with Ashleigh Monet. That would be me. So today's video, it's gonna be a little different. I took last week off to celebrate Halloween with my family. My mother-in-law was in town visiting. Plus it's like my favorite holiday, so I really wanted to be present and involved during the whole thing. It was a great time, but honestly, once the week was over, I kind of realized I needed another week off. Like, my house was a complete mess. And there were so many things that I have been meaning to do and haven't gotten to because I've been so busy lately. Like, I took my vacation, and when I came back, I was so far behind from that I've been scrambling to stay afloat. Not even catch up, just stay afloat. I had the coloring book release, I had a shop launch. Spooky season in general is just like a busy time for my channel. And then the holiday of Halloween. So yeah, I have been busy and haven't gotten around to doing so many things that need to get done. Now, these things are things that I want done before the end of the year because I know holidays are about to hit. I'm gonna be super busy with that as well. So it's kind of like if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it. When am I gonna find time? So rather than have a whole additional week with no video, I'm gonna bring you guys along with me and you can watch me do all of these random tasks. Most of them are house projects, cleaning the place up, getting my life back together. But also, my car needs a lot of love. She's been neglected. I have a few art projects that I need to get done. And then let's not neglect self-care. Self-care has fallen on the back burner, and I need to step it up. So the goal of this video is going to be to clear my to-do list so that I can go into the end of the year, the holidays, just feeling refreshed, clear-minded, not focusing on anything else except my channel. So enough of me talking, let's jump in and get done. Okay, first and foremost, I gotta take care of these nails. They're atrocious, and I refuse to do this entire video with Gollum hands. I always do my own nails because it's way cheaper, and hey, I enjoy it well enough. Like, I mean, it's an art form in its own right. You see, my issue is I have a serious nail biting problem. I'm 34 years in. Nothing I've tried has worked to stop it. It is what it is. That's who I am. So 99.9% of the time, I'm wearing press-ons. Now, occasionally, I'll let them get some air for a few days before putting on a new set. And that's what had just happened here. But now it's time to get back to pretty. That's better. Now we got to pick a color. It's so funny because I have a whole slew of colors. And yet I feel like I generally stick to the same, 5 colors? I definitely have a ton of colors that I have never worn. Not once. But am I going to go for them today? Nah. I'm honestly vibing on this one. I had this color just a few weeks ago and I really, really liked it. So I think I'm going to go for it again. It kind of reminds me of like an oil spill or those super iridescent beetles. Yeah, me likey. Let's bring out my UV light. And this color is actually created by first adding a black base coat, simple enough, and cure. Then we need to add the chrome base gel and cure again. And then we rub on the iridescent chrome powder. And here's where it starts coming to life. The color mostly looks kind of metallic green, but then in certain lights, at certain angles, it'll morph into like a yellow or orange or even pink. There's just so many facets. I love it. Finish off with a clear top coat. Cure one last time, and voila, I'm back to my old self. Now I just finish off with a little cuticle oil and lotion to, of course, moisturize. Get my rings back on, and I think we can say these hands are ready to tackle the day's work. All right, we got to roll to the post office this morning. I need to drop off a commission that needs to go out and an order. And I want to get some breakfast. I want a breakfast burrito. Got a fire breakfast burrito that morning. I needed the fuel because, there was work to be done. Try not to judge me. This is possibly the messiest my house has ever been. It was pretty much unlivable. In fact, it took all day to clean. But look at it. This is more like it. I can actually breathe now. Now, some eagle-eyed viewers have noticed in previous videos that I am now making art in my living room, and that is true. I have an art corner. So I still have the closet studio set up for all of my shop work, but I had to move out my art stuff to keep it functional. There is so little desk space and all of my devices are constantly battling for it. Like even currently when I need to use the cutter, I have to move the laptop over, put it on top of the printer, freeing up the desk. and then I can bring the cutter forward. So if I was making art, the shop stuff just couldn't be used. Plus, all of the storage in here is fully packed with my products, my shop supplies, which even spilled over onto my door with this pegboard. So yeah, I was really struggling finding places to put my actual art supplies in here. This is working better, but I did have some chair drama because up until moving out of the closet, this was my art chair. I adore this chair, but it is far too big to fit in my new smaller corner space. So now we've got a surplus of armchairs here. It's too much. One has got to go. This one is stupid comfortable, so I think it's gonna be the trusty green armchair that was part of a matching set with the couch here. She's been good to us, but we'll donate her to the thrift shop and someone else will enjoy her as much as we did. So let's get it moved out of here. And with this newfound space, well, this may be controversial, but we're going to put up the Christmas tree. Now, normally we have a very strict rule that we wait until the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, to start decorating for Christmas. A rule that has never before been violated. But what can I say? It's 2025. This year has been one for the books, not in a good way. I feel like we desperately need some holiday cheer around here, so screw it. We are not waiting. To be fair, our HOA still won't let us decorate outside until we're within 30 days of Christmas, so we're just putting up the tree. All of the other decorations can wait until the appropriate point in the year. Okay, so later in the night, we ended up swapping the tree and the chair. It just felt like it would be easier to scooch the chair when we need access to the patio as opposed to moving the tree. The tree can stay right here. Honestly, I think better flow and function. But on to this situation. I told you I lost my art chair due to its size. And without a chair, I was forced to ask Landon if I could use this one. It belongs at his desk in his room. And bless his heart, he was totally fine sharing it with me. But that was strictly a Band-Aid solution until I got my new chair, which just arrived today. Woo-woo! Let's get it set up. This is it, fully assembled. One of the reasons I picked this chair is because it's designed to allow you to sit cross-legged, which is just my favorite. And now Landon's chair is back where it belongs. Look at all that candy. Ooh, that's a Reese's. He don't like these. I'm gonna just take that off his hands. You know, it's what any good mom would do. I'm really digging this chair. It looks nice in the space, it fits perfectly under the desk, and I'm in love with that black velvet texture. Here's hoping I don't ever get any paint on it though. That's gonna break my heart. I just love my art corner being open to the rest of the living room, so I still have access to the family while I'm making my art. But now my art corner looks nice and refreshed. Speaking of refreshed, Gwennie, my shop mascot, has gotten a little refresh of her own. Gwennie has had quite the progression of looks from her creation to now. And when you put it all together, the collection of Gwennies is pure chaos. Now this has bothered me pretty much forever. I hate that the Gwennies don't match, and of them all, I love how Gwennie looks now. So I spent an unreasonable amount of time color correcting every single Gwennie design I have ever made. And now finally, she matches. We have a cohesive Gwennie collection. Oh, and I love it so much. Anyways, this new Gwennie is going to debut on Black Friday. I will be having a shop launch on Black Friday. So if for some reason you prefer the old Gwennie, any of these designs, you better hurry up and get them now. Because come Black Friday, they are going to be gone forever. 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 On the subject of Gwennie and a Black Friday launch, I mean, heck, that is right around the corner. I really need to start getting ready for it. This launch will be my last one before the new year, which means anything winter or holiday needs to be included. And since we're doing seasonal Gwennies now, I need to draw up the winter Gwennie. I loved the idea of her all bundled up for the snow. We're talking the full enchilada, earmuffs, scarf, matching mittens. Oh, she is ready for some fun in the snow. So I'm going to give her a little snowball too. Oh, she's so cute. As per the usual, I colored her with alcohol markers and then went in with colored pencils for some extra zhuzh. And of course we can't forget, it's juicy highlight time. This Gwennie did get turned into a new thank you card, which has been ordered but has not yet arrived. So here it is, front and back, super cute. And of course she needs to be turned into a sticker and added to the new Gwennie lineup. Oh, yes, love it. Another art piece I've been meaning to tackle is this, the portrait of our cats, which as you can see only includes our first 3 gatos. We simply must create a new one that includes the newest member of our crew. I'm thinking I want that awkward family photo vibe. So I started by taking a picture of each cat in profile, like they're gazing off into the distance dramatically. Then in my editing software, I just created a general mock-up of them together. This is going to be my guide for the painting. I printed it off on some heavy cardstock, and now we have a perfect template. I don't have time to do the full painting from scratch. This is going to be a huge time saver to basically treat this like a paint by number and just paint everything where it already is, and it'll definitely be easier to make it look super accurate. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to be accepting any more art supplies for a while, and to be perfectly fair, I really haven't in months. But this, I couldn't pass up. I've been waiting for these. The original 36 color set of these ARRTX liquid ink markers were my favorite acrylic markers ever, but I rarely use them just because the color selection was so limited. I said, ARRTX, please make these in more colors. Like my favorite is the liquid ink set because they are always nice and juicy, but the colors are so limited. I'm dreaming of ARRTX releasing those in a 90 or heck, even a 60 color set. ARRTX, please. And they listened. This is a pack of 60. Ooh, I can't wait to see what colors they added. Okay, lots of yellow, lots of pink, lots of blue. All right, overall, I'm okay with the color selection. Personally, I really wish there were more muted, kind of neutral colors because those fit my style of art. I'm not one to really use a lot of bright, cutesy colors. I will say, though, this set definitely has a lot more neutrals than the original, so I am feeling optimistic. Swatched them all out and only came across one little whoopsie. One of the markers did not have a number. All of the others have their number on a sticker on the cap, but this one was missing that. That wasn't a huge deal though, because let me just put all of these back. You can see I arranged them in a much more aesthetic and consistent color order. And yeah, once they're all boxed back up, if we turn the box over, all of the marker color codes are printed on the back. So based on process of elimination, I was able to determine what that marker's number was. So no biggie. We will be using this set for this piece. I do love that these particular paint markers are always juicy. For me, the standard ARRTX brush markers have an issue with often being dry. So the juiciness is definitely my favorite thing about these. But they're also super easy to use. You just shake them and go. You don't have to pump them like the Simp Taps, which no lie, I really liked those at first, but the constant pumping did get annoying, and they often made a big mess. So these to me are like the best of both worlds. You get the juiciness of the Simp Taps, but the ease of use of the standard brush markers. The opacity of the markers is good. I wouldn't say excellent. I think most of the colors in this set would require like 2 coats to be opaque. Oh, and some of my other ARRTX sets have had issues with the paint color being different from the marker caps, which leaves you kind of relying heavily on the swatches and not able to trust the cap color when picking the color. This set didn't have that issue. I felt like the caps were all pretty close matches for the paint and the markers, so yay! Overall, I had fun using these markers for this piece. If I did have a complaint, it really was just my need for more neutral colors. I mostly had what I needed here, but I was screaming internally for more grays when it came to painting Prince and Hendrix. The set did have a few grays, but many had a little bit of a tone change, like they were more bluey or more purpley. When it came to the truly neutral gray scale, I was literally working with black, white, a light gray, and a medium gray. I really could have used a darker gray to bridge the gap between medium gray and black. Like Prince's highlights were entirely too light, which meant I had to work a lot of colored pencil into this portrait to kind of tone it all down. I do wish I could have made it look more like him, but at least the other 3 I think look great. I'm super happy with it overall, so I can call it finished and throw some Mod Podge over everything. Stick it into a frame, and then it's out with the old and in with the new. I'm so glad we finally have an updated portrait of our fur babies. I just love it. All right, I'm feeling these, so let's use them for one more project. One that we can actually use some of these brighter colors on. It's gonna be my phone case. So I ordered a new clear phone case months ago and have just not made the time to personalize it. It is just so beyond boring. So let's pop it off. And look, it's been so long it's already getting those stained edges. Ugh. Am I the only one that gets hung up on how tiny your phone feels once it's out of a case? It feels so wrong. I digress though. Let's start this design. So first I start with tracing the case. I've learned that painting on the case almost never holds up with time, even if you seal it. The easiest way to personalize the case is to literally just create an insert that goes inside of it. And tracing the case will get us as close as possible to the actual phone dimensions. It'll just be in reverse, so I have to remember to flip it when I color it. Like I said, this is a new case I have, so I'm going to keep this first one as a template for the insert so that I can easily make different ones as time goes on, just using this template. Once I have that and it fits, I can just trace it to make the real deal. And then I can start coloring. I want to do an orange gradient, darker at the top and bottom, and then get lighter in the center. Now, paint markers are not great for smooth blending. I know a lot of people will mix them separately, like on a palette, and then use a brush to apply the mixed color. That's too much work. So the easiest thing for me to do is to literally just go back and forth with each color, and gradually they do become more blended. And as if I was not just talking about it, I freaking forgot to flip it before coloring it. So now it's totally backward. Yeah, I needed to color this side. Urgh. Let's start again. Trace it again. Actually flip it this time. And color it exactly the same way. And now for the main design, I thought it would be fun to turn this phone case into the wings of a monarch butterfly. I think that's good. I love the way it looks. And yeah, even in the case, it looks fine just like this. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little extra. I need more. So I'm going to add some holographic laminate to the top. Bling, bling, baby. Now we can cut it out, set it inside the phone case, and pop in my phone. There it is. I actually really, really like it. And for it being like a 10-minute craft, yeah, love that. Okay, so this is my hallway. We've got the big wall of family photos here, which I've been wanting to change up for ages. When I first created it, I drew all these fun little frames to look kind of like a chalkboard of eclectic hand-drawn framed photos. I loved it at the time, but I'm so over it now. I want something cleaner and more to my taste. Also, the white on the bottom half of the wall needs some attention. It's worn, it's dirty, it's got all kinds of scuffs from furniture moving over the years. It's driving me loca and I need it fixed. Let me start by pulling down all the photos. These were all from last year and we took this year's family photos a couple of weeks ago, so I needed to change them out anyways. I tell you, I'm slacking on everything, but now it's time to paint. We're going to cover the top half with a fresh coat of solid black, just getting rid of all those drawings. I, of course, did the edging, and as always, Cody comes to the rescue on the rolling. And then repainted the bottom half a fresh white, which made such a huge difference, but was not without its casualties. Shortly before I recorded this clip, Hendrix the Menace came bolting through the hallway and kerplopped right into my paint. Let's just say he got it all over himself and left an erratic trail of white paint paw prints throughout the entire house. Oh, that was fun to clean. But at least we were left with a new, fresh, clean hallway that would serve as a nice blank canvas for the new and improved family photo gallery wall. Starting with all new photo frames. So I bought a whole stockpile of these classic ornate looking frames in bulk. The only ones that were even remotely affordable were kind of hideous as far as color goes, but honestly that didn't deter me. I was only looking for the style to be correct because of course I knew that I could easily just paint them all to match. And that's exactly what I did. We painted them gold. Of course, the wind was wild that day. Not a fun time, but hey, I did get it done. Now, the solid gold is super pretty, but it doesn't match the classic antique feel of the frame. So I distressed each and every one with my trusty trick of painting black over the frame and wiping it away so it only stays in the deepest crevices. That made them look much more style appropriate. Then it was just a matter of printing off this year's photos, cropping them to size, sticking them inside the new frames, aw, cute, and hanging them on the wall. With that, the haul was finished, looking fabulous as ever. I love the new gallery wall. It is so much more my style. There is a significant amount of blank space up at the top. Eventually, I'm going to paint some sort of banner or title like Dodson Family Gallery up there. I just need to work up some ideas. For now, this is just fine. Cody and I sometimes host the family gatherings for the holidays, and if we host this year, I won't be embarrassed of my dirty, scuffed walls. I'll be proud of this hallway. Can't say the same for my kitchen cabinets, though. These have definitely seen better days. We've got food stains, we've got paint chipping. No, that simply will not do for the holidays. And since I already have the paint out, I'm just going to give these a fresh coat too. This is one of those projects that I've been wanting to do for months. Every time I step in the kitchen, these cabinets, they look awful. But I've been putting it off and putting it off. I'm so glad I finally got around to it because they look so much better. Don't you agree, Freddie? Time to give Yoda some love. That's my car. I adore her. She's the best. She's cute. She's red, she's cheap, and above all, she's reliable. And while I always make time for her scheduled maintenance, yes, under this hood, she is cherry. Cosmetically, she's been a little neglected. I haven't washed her in months. And the filth outside is nothing compared to the mess inside. We've got bits of autumn leaves everywhere, food crumbs, dust all over the dash, a cloudy windshield, and the seat covers, they're in bad shape. Stained to the point where washing does nothing. And heck, the back seat doesn't even have one anymore because Phoebe puked back there several months ago and ruined it. I bought some new covers weeks ago and still have not found the time to install them. Poor Yoda is just screaming for some help. Let's start off with a car wash. Phoebe loves them, and hey, it's the least I can do. Then it was time to detail the dash, vacuum, and clean all the glass. Remove the old seat covers. It's looking a whole lot cleaner and less dusty, but unfortunately the vacuum just couldn't fully salvage my floors. That's okay though, I'll just throw down some new floor mats and keep them from getting any worse. Next, it was time to install the new seat covers. I just love the cow print and oh my gosh, they are so sweet and fluffy. And I had a few extra pieces like this center console cover that was useless in my car, so hey, crafting fabric, ayo! But here's the improved, clean, refreshed version of Yoda we so desperately wanted. I love not having a messy car, it just feels so nice. One last thing, as you can see, there are lingering spirits of decals that I had on my car back in the day. I actually removed them years ago with the intention of custom painting the entire hatchback door to my car. Yet here we are, years later, and I haven't, and honestly, I'm not going to have that kind of time anytime soon. But suddenly, the old decals started ghosting. Now, this isn't residue. My clear coat is literally coming off where the decals used to be. I don't know why or how to fix it, so instead, I'm just going to slap some new decals all over everything and call it good. You know what? I'll take that. I'd say Yoda got a pretty decent little makeover today. Time for a little self-care. First on my to-do list is to wax my face. The main offender is my mustachio, but I'll get my brows too while I'm at it. It actually hasn't been that long since I did this, but if I don't stay on top of it, the hair really does get out of control. It's like Napoleon Dynamite. How long did it take you to grow that mustache? A couple of days. Look at that fresh face. My absolute favorite thing though is looking at all of the hair after. Look at that unibrow piece. So satisfying. Now it's time to mask. First, I'm going to do an eye mask, then a foot mask, and a hand mask. I better be feeling supple from head to toe after all this. I never know how these eye masks are supposed to go. It seems like you can go either way, like maybe if you use the bulbous end closer to your nose, it'll target the bags under your eyes. And if you turn it the other way, it's more for the crow's feet area. I don't know. Somebody knowledgeable, tell me how it works. I went with treating my bags. Now the foot mask is really just a plastic bag that's semi-foot shaped and filled with lotion. Definitely nothing super fancy, and oh Lord, this is really hard to do with one hand. But you kind of tape it shut, and these feel super awkward and papery on my feet, so I like to cover them up with a real pair of socks. My gingerbread socks, because I'm in the holiday spirit. Hi, Handy. Now for the hand mask, I didn't even bother trying to hold the camera. This is definitely a two-handed job. But just like the foot masks, these are just plastic gloves filled with some sort of lotion, and same system. You put them on, seal them shut, and then I like to cover these with regular gloves too. I know, I look nuts, but once I get under my heated blanket, I just become the coziest little masking queen ever. But to stay productive, I did start a little editing while I soaked in the moisturizers. About half an hour later, I feel positively divine, but there's one last thing on my to-do list, and I'm nervous. Now let's talk my hair. Because you simply cannot have a refresh without a new do. Nothing says refresh, like changing the look up. Now, some of you may remember, I went lighter over 3 months ago with the ultimate goal of being able to do like fun colors on my ends, right? I missed the fun colors that I used to do when I had like my money piece in the front, but that was so hard to maintain. So I was like, if I just bleach the ends, my hair can keep growing out and I can still do fun colors. But the bleach severely damaged my hair. Honestly, it's still not in great shape. So I decided to take a couple of weeks to let it kind of recover before bleaching again. Well, then I had my surgery, my hysterectomy. It is a very common side effect after going through anesthesia that you have hair loss. My hair was just coming out by the handfuls. I know it doesn't look like it, and I really shouldn't complain, but it was traumatic for me to literally see my hair coming out. And I don't know if you could tell, but I have all these little flyaways now from my hair just shedding, but it is what it is. My hair was going through it and I did not want to put it through anything else. So I was like, I'm not going to bleach it. I'm not going to do anything that could hurt it. And decided instead that I was going to go a little darker, just deposit some conditioning color on it. And I chose a fiery coppery orange. I wanted those autumn vibes. So the original plan was to dye my hair the first day of autumn. Yeah, I was busy. That didn't happen. So the second plan became to dye my hair on the 1st of October. Yeah, still too busy. Didn't happen. So then the third plan became to dye it for Halloween. Yeah, still busy. Didn't get to it. I'm tired of putting it off. We're doing it. So I guess I'm gonna have a winter copper, Christmas copper. You know what? Better late than never. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it to maybe rework my layers in, maybe redo my curtain bang because that is just so beyond grown out. I don't know. Hair refresh. Let's do it. Here's our starting point. My hair is freshly washed and I got it as straight as I could without using any product because I don't want anything getting in the way of my color absorbing. It's not perfectly straight, and even though it probably should be for cutting, it's a layered cut. It doesn't need to be the most precise. So whatever. I'm not going to freak out over it. It'll be fine, I'm sure. The first thing I want to do is just knock off the bottom 1.5 inches. It's all seriously damaged. Let's not even hold on to it. I'm doing sort of a Brad Mondo layered cut tutorial, so I put the majority of my hair up in a high pony. I leave the bottom layers out so that I have some fullness where my longest layers are. And I also use that hair as a guide. I can pull it up alongside the ponytail, and wherever it ends is the amount I can cut without losing length. Next, you move that ponytail to the front of your forehead. Now that's where I'd put it if I was planning on doing a middle part. But I've been rocking the side part lately, and I think I'm gonna commit to it. So instead, I'm gonna put it a little off to the side. That's hot. And again, using my longest layers as a guide, chopped it. That looked crazy blunt, so I decided to go through with the thinning shears at the end to try and soften it a little. And once I took down the ponytail, oh, it was bad. That side looked especially choppy and I was panicking, but then I realized, I already forgot about committing to the side part. Let me put this how it's supposed to be. That was already looking better, but I did have to work a bit to blend all the layers. There was definitely a disconnect between the front pieces and my longest layers, which I was not happy about. And I'm still not sure about it, but I decided to move on to the bangs. I want a nice side swept bang on this side, so I need to over direct to the opposite side to get that swoop. I knew the bangs were cut perfectly, but they were looking odd, and I decided that was just because it was straightened. I needed to see them styled with some curl in them to be happy. So I decided to stop there and move on to the color. All gloved up, and no, not me having cut another 2 inches off camera while setting up the color. Regrets! Anyways, I'm gonna do a combination of 3 colors. First, this darkest brown. Honestly, I only got this because there are a couple of spots in here. Okay, I can't find them, of course. But there are a couple of spots where bleach got onto my roots a few months ago. When I see them, they drive me crazy. So this is to cover those. Second is this paprika. It's a dark copper, and I'm going to use it right where the brown meets the blonde to kind of blend it from the dark brown to this color, orange blaze. Yeah, that's going to be that bright orange copper. And of course, I'll be putting that on the ends. Let's get going. See, that's one of those spots. Little devil. All right, we're fully covered, but I can't lie. This was looking red, not orange. But I said, let's trust the process. Let's let it do its thing. And while I sat with the hair color soaking in, I made use of my time and answered a few emails and ordered those thank you cards for the Black Friday launch. Never a wasted moment when you're running a small business. Okay, time's up. Let's wash it out and see what it looks like. Fingers crossed I haven't ruined my hair. Okay, we're rinsed. That still looks pretty red if you ask me. But I'm going to do a deep conditioning treatment, and when I come back, my hair will be dry and I'll know for sure what color I'm working with. Okay, I rinsed it. I let it dry, and honesty o'clock, this is not the color I was going for. I'm also having some really big feelings about how much hair I cut off now that it's curly and you get the shrinkage. I wasn't stressing when it was straight, but now I'm stressed. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna style it. I wanna see how it looks all together before I make my decision on how I feel about it. We're reserving judgment. Okay, it looks so much better styled. Now, obviously, the color still is not what I was going for. It's definitely red. I'm not disappointed with the color because obviously I love red. It's my favorite color. I think it's just to be shooting for the orange and not get there. That's kind of like, But then I can literally look at the bottle and I'm like, that is not the color that's on my head. But if I put my hair on the bottle, it kind of is. It's really not far off at all. So I don't know, maybe that's on me. Like I bought the wrong kind of orange. Either way, I feel like once I'm out in the sun, I'll probably get a lot more of that coppery color I was looking for. The plan was to do the orangey copper, then once that faded, go to red. Then once that faded, go to pink. Once that faded, go to purple. Once that faded, go to blue. And once that faded, go to green. So maybe I'm just skipping the orange altogether, considering this red, and once this fades, go right into pink. I don't know. I will say, now that it's styled too, I do feel a lot better about the length. Something about it being just slightly straighter. It feels longer than it did when it was still in its curly state. But I mean, it is significantly shorter. If I play back the tape, like it was kind of like under my boobs. So that's like 4 inches that I lost. That's a lot. But truth be told, it's just hair. It grows back and my hair honestly needed it. Like maybe I'm biased, but I feel like it looks so much healthier now. More refreshed, which is on brand for what this video was supposed to be. So I hope you had fun hanging out with me and all of the randomness that took place. Next week, we will be back to our normal artsy fartsy content, and I got some good ideas coming up. A special thank you to all of my More Monet members. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. The memberships have been huge for me this month. I really appreciate having somewhere to kind of tell my daily stories. I appreciate you guys giving me feedback on, videos to do, products to launch. It's really helpful for me to have that community, and I love you guys all so much. We do have a new gold member since the last video, so extra special thank you to Jen. I hope you enjoy some of the bonus content, and thank you to all of you for watching. So until next time, goodbye.